The Kremlin, for decades the citadel of Soviet government. Today, the walls of this fortress have fallen. There is no Soviet Union anymore. Its monuments, though, remain, as do the stereotypes of the people who lived under communism's iron fist. These United Methodist volunteers from the mountain state are finding that what they've heard and seen about the people of Russia isn't the complete story. They're doing that by working with them, building homes and friendship. Often before you can build a new relationship, you have to tear down old stereotypes. For the most part, that cold wall between Russians and Americans was built not by hatred, but by ignorance. Ignorance on both sides. Here's how many Russians picture the typical American.
Long chin, white teeth, and always long cigar, and hell of money. Great quantity of money.
They don't know you. That's why they have no opinion, I think. Just some associations with the country, just stereotypes. And that's all, no opinion.
You think programs like these will change that?
Of course. Just the people, for example, of this village will find out what you are like.
One by one, working side by side, they began to find out. And that wall of ignorance began to fall.
It's interesting, it's amazing to see ordinary people and to not to read about their problems in newspapers and other magazines, but just to get the knowledge of their life through communications and through the personal contacts.
When you get out in the country where you don't have bureaucrats living and you have ordinary folks living, we have seen that the people are very much like we are. They're people that are wanting to provide for their families and want to have a quality life. They want to have hope, and they want to have love, and they want to enjoy life.
They come from vastly different cultures and speak completely different languages. Strangely, though, communication isn't a problem.
A lot of the men have worked overtime with some of the Russian guys who've been helping, and without an interpreter, and they've gotten along great, and it's kind of no language barrier.
Вас не тревожит. Отдыхайте сегодня. Это вчера поздно было.
He said he didn't want you
До самой темной ночи.
rest tonight. He said you've worked hard enough. They're only going to work a couple hours.
We do have a language barrier, but we are communicating with love and handshakes and smiles and how do you do's and that kind of thing.
I can't take it through customs. At the airport, they won't let me take it. You can't take them out.
Take this interaction, for example. An older man from Sichi offers this woman a puppy. She declines, but strikes up a revealing conversation with him.
How long have you lived here? Have you always lived in this village?
Всегда жили в этой деревне. Yes, the whole life.
As is often the case in this part of the country, the conversation turns to a dark era in Russian history, World War II, a time when a reported 30 million people in this area were killed by German soldiers.
Many people were killed here. Lots of them. The river was covered with the corpse. It was horrible.
As Russian and West Virginian part company, they take with them a new understanding of each other. For the West Virginians, the learning process continues at the village's general store. There, they witness perhaps the biggest difference between life in Russia and life in America, the availability of consumer goods.
I wasn't expecting it to be like this exactly. I thought it would be more, I don't know, I thought it would be closer to American life, and it really is a lot different.
This young man, though, is still able to buy what he wants, cookies.
And, yes, and
And when the transaction is over, the clerk learns something about West Virginians, too.
Oksana wants to say. Tell Oksana what you're here to say.
It's a bookmark that I would like her to have. Just
Spasiba. Thank you.
I think especially West Virginians are loving people, and that's coming out.
On the other side of the village, another group of West Virginians gets a lesson in Russian hospitality. They're invited to take part in the butchering of a homegrown hog. Not the kind of gesture you'd normally see in America, but a genuine gesture of goodwill, and one that was eagerly accepted. And here, too, stereotypes fall.
Anytime you stereotype someone, it can't do any favor for anybody. So this is really an experience where we get to learn an awful lot about their language, their custom, their faith, who they are as a people, and they also get to learn who we are.
I come here knowing that for many, many years, our countries were enemies. And I personally find that hard to relate to because I have never felt as though I'm an enemy of anybody, but I know as a country we've been enemies. And in that sense, when we come here, we bring a different message. We bring a message that not all Americans are in the military, that not all Russians are in the military, and that people can work together and learn from each other.
We've discussed what we think of each other, what the Cold War has meant, what the end of communism has meant, and to find people who do some of the same things that we do. It's been real refreshing.
Yep. Just as we've had a bad impression of Russia, they have also had a bad impression of us, and we've been able to give them a taste of love and companionship and building a relationship with our countries that will hopefully last and grow to greater and greater communication.
I hope we have built some bridges and communication and said some things other than just working on buildings. I hope that they will see that we're Christians and we're just basically like they are.
We will work with each other. We will work side by side. We will work with each other. We will work side by side. And we'll guard each one's dignity and save each one's pride. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love.
I don't think you can know anything about a people unless you've been to where they live, because I have no idea. I had no idea there was a place in the world that was like this, and it's an amazing place. It really is, and the people are amazing.
When we come back, we'll introduce you to Russia's greatest natural resource, its children.